We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh. Thịnh chuyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã mùng, như há liêu sanh thoát ly khổ đạt lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sa Đan Tô Sư Chế Đô Ye Ở Lại Hơi Đi San Miao San Pu Tô Xie. Nam mô Ta Các Tha Tô Ya Đa Ya A La Ha Đê Tam Miệu Nam Bồ Đà Thoáng. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai qian万劫难遭遇，我今借闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Qingliang, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns, and all good knowing advisors, Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、精良大士、师父上人、各位出家人、各位善知识，弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại sư Thượng Thiên Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện sư thức A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 21st of July 2024. We're here in Wei Mountain Temple to continue discussing the first chapter of the Avatamsaka Sutra. It's about the world rulers. We're towards the end section of the description of the God rulers of the third dhyana, the third desire heaven, Suyama heaven. Okay. Thank you all for coming. First and foremost, I'd like to share with you some sad news. No, it's not about politics. I gave up on politics. I'm tired of being a loser team. I'm becoming Republican. Never mind. Can't beat them, you join them, that's all. We're flexible. Oh God, I'm so depressed. Never mind, control. First and foremost, we'd like to announce with you and share with you some bad news, and that is the dear wife of a long-time disciple of ours, Braid McBride, her name is Donna. They've been married for something like almost 6 decades. Yeah? That's incredible. Huh? That's unheard of nowadays. and she passed away. And our condolences to him. We're very sorry about your big loss. I'm very sorry too, because I have no more one-arm cookies to eat. It's even more depressing than before. But seriously, I also want to apologize to you personally, because we in a state of suspension the last few days, not knowing what you wanted to do, and we couldn't approach you because of our procedural, self-imposed procedural restrictions. And so as a result, we been waiting for you, and finally we connected. And because of that, I have some good news for you. I just looked at your wife, and let me tell you, she is so happy. Because the last few days, without any protection, without any help, she's been suffering. So I apologize to you. Okay? We'll make up for it. We'll try to send her to the Pure Land very quickly, okay, to make up for it. And also for the few days, because of our confusion, we'll extend the 49-day for a few more days to give her even more blessings than scheduled. All right? So I hope it makes up for it. I want you to know she's in very good hands. She's very grateful. You guys don't realize how much suffering there is, especially after you die. If you think you're suffering now, you ain't seen nothing yet. And so that's why once we got started, it's like night and day. She was so happy. Okay? Anyway, that's... Anyone has any questions? Okay. So basically, what we told her is that all of my love from you. Okay? I think it makes her happy a little bit as well. Okay, and also we like to just brought my attention here on the screen that Chung Sini made it back to K-Land. He's right now at Jewel Kong. Chung Sini, how do you feel? Are you tired?
I'm fine.
You're fine. Wow, English. Are you happy to be back? Careful, careful.
I'm sad to the 마스터와 헤어져서 슬픕니다. 마스터와 지금 떨어져 있게 돼서 슬프게 느껴집니다.
Master, I feel so sad because I'm apart from you.
From all of you, okay? It's so Korean. They all know, always say the right things. But you must be glad to be back in your country, yeah?
Yes, Master.
Yeah, see, he's very glad. Okay. Thầy Địa Tạng. This is the... Yeah. They were asking, the old women were asking, who is he? When we said, it's an Earth Store Sunim. They said, of course, we know him. Okay, take a few days to relax and recover from your jet lag. Okay?
Master.
Okay. And what about the rest of JC? What do you feel? I think not too many of them. It's the first time they met with you, right? The rest of JC? Huh? How about our the old timers? So many new faces at JC, constantly, new faces coming. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, speak. Don't be shy. Yeah. What's your impression of him? Now you see him in person. The reason I ask is that he'll be there for a year or so. So I expect him within a year to continue to improve. Yeah, so what's your impression of him? Go ahead.
Yes, he looks more brighter.
He looked more brighter. Okay, very good. Anything else?
I'm glad to meet him again.
I'm glad to meet him again. You can go no wrong with saying he looks brighter. Always. Anyone else would like to say anything? Don't be shy now.
Master, yesterday, the evening ceremony, he was take part in ceremony together. It was very good. I was more concentrated.
Wow, he doesn't do that here. Impressive. Do you do it in Chinese or in Korean? Wow.
First, he spoke Chinese, but tried to speak Korean later.
Okay, so half and half. Very good. Anyone else? Yeah? Nothing? Don't be shy now. Go ahead, speak.
정인 스님 한국 오셔서 환영합니다. 그리고 작년에 갔을 때 정인 스님 빨리 한국으로 오십시오 했는데 마스터 곁에 한 20년 더 있고 싶다고 말씀하셨는데 빨리 오셔서 고맙습니다. 감사합니다.
Ibcha says, Chongin Sinim, welcome to Korea. Last year I went to the US. I asked him, please come to Korea as soon as possible. And Chongin Sinim said, I'm planning to stay here for 20 years. I'm so glad he's back to Korea quickly. Thank you.
Okay, very nice. All right. Anyone else?
네, 종인 스님이 오셔서 든든합니다.
I feel very safe because he's arrived in K-land.
Okay, very good. Excellent. He's actually, I was looking forward to have him go back to K-land for you to take a close look at him. Unfortunately, many of you are new, so you don't know him back then when he was still over there. So maybe you would take him around a little bit to visit his old friends and masters and so forth and see how they would react to him. Okay? Take good care of him. All right? And I'm warning you. If you're not careful, they're going to offer him temples and money and a lot of good stuff to stay over there. Okay, I'm counting on you to protect him from temptations. Okay, dokie? Okay, very good. Thank you, everyone. Anyone else who'd like to say anything, ask anything? Yeah? Peek? Is it peek? Oh, okay. All right, we're on slide 640. The previous section is the sentient beings see the Buddha but once. They may surely purge themselves of all karmic obstacles. And these are the second half of the Gatha. And forever abandon all demonic karmas, so none remains. Celestial King, brightly shining, walks this path.
离诸魔业永无余，光照天王所行道。
Okay, commentary slide is 641. This Gatha here says, if you personally go and see the Buddha, take a look at the Buddha but once, okay, all your demonic karmas will be eradicated. That's amazing. I can't fathom this state. Okay, and only are they erased from your consciousness, okay, forever. So this is one of the Buddha's powers, where when you get to see him in person, he will wipe out all your bad karmas, your evil karmas. So what happens when you create evil karmas? They're stored in your eighth consciousness, okay, until they mature. Those are like seeds, and they will eventually mature. And that's why the Buddha knows that. So Shakyamuni Buddha, he says, I know you have some evil seeds in there, tons of evil seeds. Since beginningless time, you've been creating evil seeds. Therefore, when you get to see me, I will erase all of those countless evil seeds that you created. And if they had shape, they would be filling up the entire empty space. That's how many there are. And then zap, they're gone. Okay? When I was a long time ago, went up to San Jose and visited this Hinayana temple, and they had a lot of, the master used some Hinayana mantras, I think, to command the ghosts. There's so many of them at the temple. Actually, a lot of ghosts, the dark forces around that general area of San Jose, and inside of which his temple is located. So I was curious. So I said, "Wow, there's so many ghosts here. They're so bad that I was driving a rental car, and for some reason I backed up. I backed up into a garbage can. Never happened to me before. It's amazing, what they do to you. So after that, I said, wow, these guys are dangerous. So I said, what can I do? So I said, let me kill by half of them and see what happens. Because I was concerned about the temple. The temple has too many of them. So I wiped out half of them. But that's only a small area. And the Buddha, he wipes out all the endless evil karma you have. Isn't that amazing? Anyway, now, and not only that, because of that, you will forever abandon all demonic karmas. Okay, so none remains. So what it means is that the implication here is that if you created evil karmas already and they're stored here in your consciousness, okay, you're bound to create more evil karmas. Okay, because there's so many, they will mature for you to create more evil karmas, and even more and more and more endlessly. That's why being here in a real reincarnation is extremely dangerous. You sink. Okay, this morning I talked about someone who's low level enlightenment, but because of the evil karma created, sank to the bottom like a rock. It's scary, let me tell you. Somebody might be looking on the outside, looks so nice and pleasant and normal, but actually inside is it's a big mess. Anyway, so you see, getting to see the Buddha is incredible, folks. It's well worth the efforts. 8.
Thank you, Master. In regards to seeing the Buddha, when we are with the relics, we have a relics exhibit. Relics are a manifestation of the Buddha.
Yeah.
So is that like seeing the Buddha?
Yeah, it's like in some aspects, but not all of it. You see, the Buddhist teaching is not the way you think. He says, look, seeing the relics is like seeing the Buddha in some aspects. Otherwise, no point in us trying to be born at the same time with the Buddhas. You see, we are born at the wrong time, where Buddhas are gone. So the next best thing is seeing the relics or the statues. Okay, but that certainly is not the same as seeing the Buddha in person. Does it make sense to you? Okay, but it's too bad that the Buddhist in the Buddhist scriptures it sounded like it's the same thing, but it's not. Cannot possibly be the same thing. Yeah. All right, celestial king, brightly shining, walks this path. So he himself would often go see the Buddha. So occasionally he'll go see the Buddha to wipe himself up, okay? And then the next chance he goes to see the next Buddha so that they hopefully don't remember him. That's what it means to walk this path. It's very subtle, but he's smart. Okay, among all in the extensive ocean-wide assembly, the Buddha is the most awesome and dazzling.
一切众会广大海，佛在其中最微耀。
Okay, translation a little bit off, it's okay. They get the general idea, but basically what it means is that these Buddhas, they have this assembly, the people who gather around them, okay? Because you hear of these fantastic, inconceivable benefits when you draw near the Buddha. As you can imagine, there is actually a lot of people, countless people. Unlike Disneyland, where you have to stand in line. Anyone been to Disneyland recently? Where you have to stand in line, okay? Buddha's assemblies, you don't have to stand in line. It's endless. As many people can come and draw near him to receive the same benefits. Isn't that cool? Yeah. And so that's why it's called extensive. Actually, is guang. Here is that it is so wide, meaning it spreads endless. This is the idea. Guang is widespread. Okay? Ad infinitum. It as many as possible, as if they're lining up the same line here and to be near the Buddha. Okay, that's guang. Okay? Very much like when we take a photo here at the end of Chanchi, guang is that line there of people. Okay? It's that row of people. Guang. Okay, so that's what they explain as guang is extensive. Actually, it's this dimension, okay, this plane, okay, next to the Buddha, and Dahai is great ocean, meaning this guang here, this line here, is as big as the great ocean. Okay, see how much is lost in the translation, unfortunately. Okay, the Chinese teaching, this is why I encourage you to learn Chinese, because we cannot possibly explain everything, translate everything to you. Then understand English first, like I had to do, and then later when you learn Chinese, which we encourage our students to do, then you understand at a deeper level what this is about, the teaching is about. Okay? So what it means is that Buddhas, their assemblies, whenever they speak Dharma, there are infinitely many number of attendees. And most of them, the one who had to be Guang here in this front row here is basically Buddhas and Mahasattvas and Bodhisattvas. Okay? So today we celebrated One Yin Bodhisattva's Enlightenment Day. Okay? And so what you don't know is when we celebrate something like this morning we had something like 20 people. Okay, 30. My math is usually not that good. 35? No, who cares? It's the same diehards. You have to kill them for them to stop coming. Anyway, for one Dharma assembly, you know. And so what happened is that it may look like a few people, actually is well attended, because there's a lot of people who want to come and pay their respect to One Yin Bodhisattvas and celebrate her Enlightenment Day. Okay, so there's a lot of people. So you see, that's I didn't understand why the Chinese have this Dharma assembly plaques and so forth. Later on, as we did the work, I realized, oh wow, so there's a huge difference in our daily ceremonies versus the Dharma assemblies. You know, so there's this huge difference. That's why my Shishyawa says, for days like today, the benefits from you has a multiplier of 100,000, 1 million, 10 million, depending on who's in attendance. Make sense now? It's not the same, depending on where you go. All right. The Buddha is the most awesome and dazzling. He inspire awe in the bad elements. When the Buddha looks at you, or you take a look at the Buddha, your mind is in awe. Okay. I was out yesterday trying to avoid go to a place that has AC. I was sitting there, and I happened to look at a guy who looks like he's wearing a leather jacket, and he was walking outside. I was sitting inside. He was walking outside. I would happen to be looking, and I just looking, and maybe my gaze is too strong. And so I ignore him, and then I happen, and he turned this way. It's all glasses, of course, and I happen to look that way. And so, meaning he was in awe at all by me, who was offended. Oh, well, have a long way to go, okay? He sprinkles Dharma rain everywhere to nourish sentient beings. Renown enters this passage into liberation.
普语法语润众生，此解脱门名称入。
And so, no, it's about him creating a state of awe, okay? But he speaks Dharma, okay? This is so important. The Buddha, he speaks Dharma whether with words or whether with his awesome presence or dazzling light. It's all about speaking a Dharma, okay, everywhere to nourish sentient beings, okay? And so, again, I want to emphasize to you, speaking Dharma from the Buddha is simply not like formal lectures like right now we do, okay? He speaks Dharma constantly in all sorts of form, with light, with sound, with fragrances, with everything that it takes that's appropriate to reach you and to nourish you, okay? And so in Buddhism, in Mahayana, they like to use this analogy of speaking Dharma. It's like rain, which is water, give you water, the essential requirement of life, okay? So that's what the Dharma really means. Okay, before we could not go to the moon because there's no water. You cannot colonize the moon, okay? Because you cannot bring water from Earth up to the moon to take care of the settlers there. Okay, so that's how important the water is. Okay, we take it for granted here. But it's not until you get to the moon when you're trying to colonize it and you realize it's not possible until recently. Did you hear? You don't follow science? No? You are the most boring Buddhists I know. You follow only politics. When I joke about politics, you understand. When we talk about science, yeah. So what it turns out that they discovered some frozen stuff in the shading area of the moon, where there's a lot of water there. So now this is why you see that the Europeans, the Chinese, 60 different nations are sending rockets to the moon. Because the moon is so rich in mineral deposits and the things that are expensive here on Earth is in great abundance up there. And the only thing stopping them is water. All right, cool? So anyway, so it is so, the analogy here is that very important for all of us to remember. Doesn't matter how afflicted you are, how bad you feel, okay? Especially when you feel bad, when you want to run away from life. That's when you must listen to the Dharma. How did I get all these implications, deductions? I have no idea. But to me, it's so clear. The Mahayana people keep on talking about speaking Dharma like a Dharma rain. I want to tell you, there's very important implications. That is, when at the worst moment of your life, when you are in dire strait, that's when you need to turn to the Dharma, because it will feed you, it will nourish you, will take care of you. I can't stress it enough. And this is why, let me tell you, this is why some of my disciples who got upset at me for whatever good reasons they have, okay, they run away from the Dharma, okay, they're more miserable than before. They didn't realize that the Dharma we have here, we're practicing, have been nourishing them. And now they don't have it anymore. It's a huge, a big gaping hole in their life, and they're miserable. Let me tell you, it's so sad. Losers. Anyway, okay, so run. Okay, 法语润众生. Run here is provide moisture. Okay? You don't have moisture, you cannot live. Okay? But it also not just physical existence, but also bring you benefits as well. And then, interestingly, from the Chinese character, also means polish. If you have no class, you should learn more Dharma. It will polish you up. Okay, dokie. Most people are not aware of this. For example, it's so clear to me. Okay, since day one for me, that when I first started, I didn't know anything about Buddhism due to badmouth the Buddha myself. Okay, and I'm very sorry, Buddha. And I only have a few glimpses of my teacher, Master YongHua, because my late mother forced me to go there, give her a ride and so forth. Okay, but those few glimpses of him, few moments of him being surrounded by his disciples, speaking Dharma and so forth, made a lasting impression. Not because I was impressed or anything. I was amazed at how a big famous master would be so plain and see how easily distracted I am. And so I was so impressed. Later on, I was a lot more impressed. The more I cultivated, the more I became impressed with these images I had of him. Very plain, very ordinary looking, compared to his disciples, who are so powerful, so important. They're like, and you look at them and say, I'm important, that kind of thing, okay? So for some reason, for me personally, I never could connect with that, of the fact that, yes, Master YongHua is very simple, he kind of disappears among the crowd, where his disciples, the big ones, are like so important, walking around like this. I remember even one time I was requesting the Dharma at the city 10,000 Buddhas. I was walking even not as slow as Deji Sunim the last few days. She walked so slow. I was holding my breath and saying, should I wait until she's done before I can breathe? I couldn't wait. See, that's how bad it was. Anyway, so she was so concentrated. And so at the time, I was a novice, mind you. And so this big shot disciple of his was there speaking the Avatamsaka Sutra on the altar of the city, 10,000 Buddhas. So I was wow, this is my chance to impress people. So I walked so deliberately, so slowly. And then after I'm done, he looked at me and said, oh, faster, man. Don't do it that slow. He was so afflicted. And I think if you were to do it to him, he probably would yell at you. How dare you make me wait? That kind of attitude. I need to speak Dharma here. You cannot waste my time like that. It's contrary to the spirit of the Dharma request. I told myself when Teji did it to me. You see, you talking about retributions. I used to afflict him. Now she is afflicting me. But instead of yelling at her, I said, wow, I better remember my lesson and learn to remember I'm not that important. I can wait. So my point being that you should never forget that you're not that important. Okay? And you need to accord with conditions. So that's my problem. I never connected properly with these people, unfortunately for me, to be unimpressed. I was only impressed by my master. Anyway, renown enters this passage into liberation. So he renowned here. This ruler king here in the third desire heaven, he understands the importance of speaking the Dharma, okay, to help others. So this is a reminder for all of you, okay. Right now you save. Eventually, when I am no longer have the stamina and I'm running out of things to talk about, then it's your turn to you speak, to sprinkle the Dharma rain, okay? And this is very important in our profession, in our world, right? Next section, the heavens of the desire realm. Heavens are 33, which means the heavens of the Christian God. Okay, let's go for it. Moreover, celestial king Shakra Indra gained a passage into liberation of experiencing great happiness of recollecting the appearance of Buddhas of the 3 periods of time, and clearly seeing everything, including the formation and decay of their lands.
复次，释迦因陀罗天王得意念三世佛初心，乃至刹尘坏皆明见，大欢喜解脱门。
648 commentary. Okay, first of all, sound familiar. Yes, it should sound very familiar to you, because Shakra or Indra is a celestial king, which is known as the Christian God or the Jade Emperor to the Taoists in Taiwan. Okay, so he's very famous because he's a big shot. And unfortunately for me, my master, the way he described Indra was kind of derogatory. He says Indra used to be a pauper, a beggar woman, and she found a dilapidated temple worshipping, I believe, Kashyapa Buddha or something like that. Okay, and so she brought forth, even though she was a beggar, she brought forth the resolve to fix the temple because the statue of the Buddha was exposed to the element, and she felt bad in her heart. It hurt, it ached in her heart. So she stopped everything and started going around and collecting money to fix the roof. That's all. So she could bring forth the desire to do. And then she found 32 other cohorts who were willing to do that. And so with all 33 of them collected money and eventually were able to fix the roof of the temple. Because of that, they died. And according to Master YongHua, they were born into the heaven, okay, of the second desire heaven, and that woman there became Indra, and her palace is in the center of the top. That heaven's at the top of Mount Sumeru, so her heaven's at the center, and the other 32 the palaces are surrounding that center heaven. That's why it's called Heaven of 33. So because of that story, I had this derogatory attitude towards Indra. Thank God that this section here reminds me he's actually a very big shot. So forgive me. Okay. And now that I repented, can you give me a few more churches? You know, the church here is his gift, you know that? There's no way I could afford this. At the time we bought this, it should be worth at least 5 million, 6 million. I bought for 2.3. It had to be coming from him. Anyway, thank you. Yeah. He's a big shot. Look at what he's doing, okay? He became liberated, so he's no ordinary second desire heaven God, okay? He's a Mahasattva, okay? And what he does is, by recollecting how the Buddhas came to the world, Buddhas in the past, okay, Shakyamuni Buddha, as well as he's able to see Buddhas in the future as well. Okay, that's a clue right there. He can see the future already. Okay, so he's no ordinary God. And so the 3 periods of time in the past, present, and the future. Okay, and so by contemplating the appearances of the Buddha through time, through the 3 periods of time, he experienced great joy, great happiness. Okay, and so he enters samadhi basically, and he's able to observe how Buddhas came to the world. Okay, and when they came to the world, you know, all Buddhas who come, who appear, they will go through their worlds, go through the 4 phases of. Let me first, this digression. Name means able celestial Lord, so he's competent celestial Lord. He's very competent, by the way. Okay, he really does a good job. Okay. And so he's able to contemplate how each Buddha appeared in the world and how their Buddha lands go through the 4 phases. Okay. Second point here, you need to know that everything has go through 4 phases of, like the world, the phases of, what are those phases? Of formation, dwelling, change, and extinction, or emptiness. Okay? Everything in the world goes through these 4 phases, whether it's a galaxy or every single thing, including us. We're born, okay? We dwell. Dwelling is we grow up, okay? And change for the world perspective is called sickness for us, okay? And finally, emptiness is death for us. You see, everything has to go through those 4 phases in sequence, linearly. Okay? And he's able to see that. And when you live long enough, when you have the ability to observe all that, the timelines, it enables you to detach from your desires. Doesn't matter how much you love someone. When he's younger, he's so handsome. Now he's older, he's fat. And and bald. Enjoy what you can. That's life. And when you see all that over and over again, you see, what's a big deal? Enjoy what you can and drop it. Drop it. The Koreans don't find it funny. Okay. All right. So that's because of that, he's able to drop everything. And he became a Mahasattva. Cool? 650, Celestial King, universally praised full voice, gain a passage into liberation of being able to realize how the Buddha's physical body comes to be the most pure, vast, and peerless in the world.
普称满音天王，得能令佛色身最清净广大，事无能比解脱门。
651. You appreciate the point here or not? What he does. Okay? Ignore him, it's okay. They eventually become normal again. They go like this right now, but it's only temporary. It's a good thing. It clears your head, by the way. So this universally praised, okay? And he is very well praised by his peers. Full voice, this voice, very, very, very fascinating voice. Again, became a Mahasattva, okay? By realizing that Buddha's physical body is most pure, vast, and peerless in the world. Okay? And the Buddha's body, you can look at it as in terms of Shakyamuni Buddha, where he has 32 hallmarks of great men. Like the head has the bump here in the head, and the hand has the wheel, and so forth. Tattoo here. Buddha has tattoos too. You have tattoos, why do you laugh? Okay? Young people, generation now, they do go after tattoos. Gen Z, yeah? They like pain. I'm thinking of doing a tattoo here. A one character would be so cool. Anyway, and so there are 32 hallmarks and 80 subtle characteristics. Like Shakyamuni Buddha, when you look at him closely, it shows like his hands are so long. He puts it by his body, it reaches past his knees without bending. Okay, so he has these characteristics, very, very fantastic. So you look at them, you know he's not an ordinary person. Also, you look at the reward body, which is reserved for the bodhisattvas. They are incredible. They're so adorned. And because of that, when you looked at the Buddha himself as a transformation body, or you looked at the reward body of Buddha, which only bodhisattvas can see, okay, he became enlightened. How is it possible? Does it make sense to you? You look at Samba body, you're like, I don't know about you, but I do read people's magazine. I look at those photos. I don't become enlightened. Clearly, these people don't do People magazine. That's why they don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, look up People magazine. Yeah? How is it possible that he looks at the Buddha's body and he became enlightened? How is it? It sounds so easy, so effortless. Is it possible? I've never seen a Buddha in person, so I don't know. I'm just curious. What do you think? What's the rationale behind this? Yes, 6.
Master, could it be that to have a perfect mind, you would also have a perfect body?
Okay. Yeah, the clue is here. 32 hallmarks. These are extraordinary features. It's not like a tattoo here. They look at it, oh, say, wow. You become enthralled. You know, when we look at the bump on his head, like in the statues here, you say, okay, so it's a bump. But when you look at him, it's like, wow. So that's why you can't, it cannot be described. So that's why I'm asking, how is it possible that he looks at the Buddhas, either Shakyamuni Buddha, which is who is a transformation body, or reward body, which is what bodhisattvas are able to see. They're humongous. Okay, if some of my disciples said, "Oh, I can see some," but they cannot see the whole thing. Okay, because it's so big. It's like 10,000 feet tall. You're not impressed? How about 10,000 miles tall? Huh? That's the reward body. All right? So what happened to this celestial king, universally praised, full voice, is that he's able to look at the Buddha's bodies. And it's like when you look at something so beautiful, so fascinating, okay, you enter samadhi. Make sense? You say, oh, wow, look at that. Look at that. 1 pound of gold. You give me 1 pound, say, oh, you get my attention right away. That's the analogy. Okay? Or look at Mr. Bezos' woman. She wears a $500 million engagement ring. If I look at that, I'd be so happy. Okay? So anyway, so it is so fascinating, so beautiful that he enters samadhi. Does it make sense? Because it's nothing you've seen before. Okay? And that it captures all your attention. That's why samadhi, right there. So far, so good? It captures his attention, which we can't do. This is why you can't relate to it. I'm trying to explain to you why. Okay? So when he sees the Buddha's bodies, he says, wow. And he freezes. Wow. And so that's samadhi right there. Okay? So far, so good? Samadhi is one thing, but how did he become enlightened? Because it is the most beautiful thing, the most precious thing he realizes in this universe. So, when he gets out of samadhi, he says, Wei Mountain Temple, you can have it. Xin An Sunim, you can have her too. Yeah, I can let go. After you've seen the Buddha's body, you can let go. I don't care. That's the point. You're missing the point. You always go back to you. No, it's about me. Okay? And so, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Is the answer. Where do you go? Frankly, my dear. So anyway, so this guy here, he sees the Buddha, he says, whoa! He freezes. And then when he recovers from that, because his blood seems to run out, and he says, wow, Wei Mountain Temple, Xienan Sunim, DTT, who gives a damn? You can have it. He dropped everything. And that's what Buddhas can do to you. One look at him, he says, wow, I thought I was smart. I would appreciate art and everything. I recognize value, but the Buddha is something else. Everything else, nothing else matters. And that takes a lot of blessings for this celestial king to be able to drop it. Isn't that cool? Does it make sense to you now? Huh? It's like when you ladies, when you're younger, you have these many suitors, Mr. X, Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C, and so forth, and you have to compare until you find the Buddha. Okay, he said, "Oh, goodbye," and so forth. You see? All right. Next. Celestial King, kind eyes, and precious cow, gain a passage into liberation, having cloud of kindness cover all.
慈目宝济天王，得慈云普覆解脱门。
Okay, when I was preparing this, I looked at the original translation. They translate this as compassion. So king, celestial king, kind eyes, and precious cow, gain a passage into liberation, having clouds of compassion cover all. In Chinese, 慈 here is kindness, it's not compassion. Compassion has a different character. It's bei, okay? So that's why I had to correct it, because I want to stress the point here. It's not always compassion. If you practice kindness, you can also become a Mahasattva. That's the point. Okay? Are you fully recovered, my dear? I don't know. You should be happy for me for a change. She's still struggling with that concept. What about me? It's not about you, man, it's about me. Ditto. So kind eyes and precious cow. So he has great kindness, so that he's so full, his substance is of kindness, so that the kindness from his heart manifests through his eyes. So you look at his eyes, you say, wow, I like you. You make me happy. Huh? Just one look, and you so happy. Don't have to say anything. For us men, when we look at you, we have to lie to you to make you happy. Oh, you're so pretty. This king here, he doesn't have to do that. Where did we go wrong? Anyway, men. So anyway, so the heart exudes kindness through the eyes, okay? And not only does he exude kindness, but he also makes sure that he have a cloud of kindness cover everyone, okay? They want to make you happy, each and everyone. No discrimination. Democrats, Republicans, Independents, everyone. Okay? 655, Celestial King, Jewel Light Banner of Renown, gain a passage into liberation of constantly seeing the Buddhas and manifesting awe-inspiring bodies of various shapes and forms before all rulers of the worlds.
宝光床名称天王，得恒见佛，于一切世主前现种种形象，威德身解脱门。
Wow, 656. We're talking about his audiences, how we became enlightened as his audiences, his target audience, all rulers of the worlds. When was the last time you saw one? I don't even remember. I think never before. It's like you asked me, when was the last time you talked to Donald Trump? I'm trying to be in good terms with him nowadays. Turning Republican. Yeah. I would say, never. I'm too small. And he's able to access all rulers of the worlds. That's his access. Isn't it amazing? A lot of power, a lot of friends, very important friends. When we go to K-Land, for us to see, we got to see quite a few, I'm bragging a little bit, quite a few fangzang of all the big temples. The Americans are not impressed, but they have no idea. Oh, you're right. It's the number one monk of the big temples. Okay, Fangzang is the highest ranking monk in that organization. So I wouldn't call myself Fangzang, we were pretty small compared to theirs. But so I got to see the Fangzangs. No, not the Tungdosa. I didn't get to see the living one. I got to see the retired one. But anyway, all those, we got to see them because of the fact that one of their biggest supporters brought us to see them. Otherwise, we cannot have access. You cannot simply walk to a temple, unlike here, Way Mountain Temple, and say, "Can I talk to Master YongHua?" And I will come out. Yes, what can you do? So I go, welcome, you know. It's totally different. Okay, and so you need to have access. But this guy here, he has access to all the world rulers. That's how big he is. He doesn't need to go through anyone. Because I know if I come back and want to see one of those functions again, I can't. They say, "Who are you again?" Okay? So anyway, so he has access to them. Not only does he have access to them, that's a lot of blessings. Okay? He can manifest all sorts of bodies of various shapes and form, meaning he can manifest as anything. He can manifest as the Buddha, manifest as a Bodhisattva, can manifest as meow, anything and everything. Okay? And all inspiring bodies. So whatever is inspire us, okay, he's able to manifest in front of these world rulers. See the incredible spiritual penetration? When we talk about spiritual penetration, it's not even mentioned. We talk about heavenly eye, heavenly ear, and so forth. Nothing like this. This is like on a scale of out of sight, unimaginable, infinite bodies of various shapes and forms. Okay, and so that's why that's what the Buddha does. The Buddha he sees this. Let me clarify for you. I don't want to mislead you. This guy here sees how Buddhas use spiritual penetrations to manifest all sorts of form and bodies in front of the world rulers. Okay. And that's how he became enlightened. Watching movies. Okay? So to see that incredible feat of the Buddha, he says, wow, he opened his wisdom. I don't get it, how, but that's what happened. Yeah? All right, 657. Celestial King, inspiring happiness cow, gain a passage into liberation of knowing the karma of blessings that produce the cities, villages, and palaces of all sentient beings.
发生喜乐祭天王，得知一切众生诚意宫殿，从何福业生解脱门。
Okay, so that's, what do you think? What is he doing? Okay, you heard, I don't know about you down here, but up north, they're trying to develop some sort of city in Solano County. A bunch of billionaires trying to build a city up there. You're not aware of the news? Huh? It's a lot of money, a lot of billions of dollars poured into it. So they turn this piece of land near some sort of military zone into a exclusive residences. Okay, and they run into all sorts of obstructions because they didn't have the blessing to produce the cities and villages and palaces of sentient beings. Isn't that cool? So you see, the big minds, this is what they do. That's my point. Those big, the wealthy people, those people, they are big thinkers. Okay, and so this is why those big thinkers think of cities, villages, palaces, countries, maybe. All right. So a different scale than us. We're just trying to rent an apartment or maybe buy a condo or inherit a house from mama. God save her soul. And so forth. But for them, it's a little bit bigger scale. All right? And so they understand, this guy here understands what it takes to be able to pull off such feats of creating villages, cities, and so forth, and palaces. All right? Okay, and Master Shua explains it as, you do that, what are the karmas that it takes to create such vast enterprises? You have to diligently cultivate precept, samadhi, and wisdom. Extinguish greed, anger, and delusion, which will certainly achieve reward of cities, villages, and palaces. But it's very generic when you think about it. You practice that, not only will you get cities, capitals and countries, and islands and villages and palaces, but you also get a lot of stuff, okay, that will manifest according to your conditions. Okay? But if, Master Shioha says, if you exclusively commit offenses and crimes and fail to cultivate good works, merit and virtue, you will not attain such blessings. We all know that. 660, Celestial King, proper mindfulness. Gain a passage into liberation of, revealing that these are all Buddhas that bring sentient beings to maturity.
端正念天王得开示诸佛成熟众生世解脱门。
Proper mindfulness. So this is also another standard, traditional Buddhist wisdom. It's about good roots, bringing beings to maturity. It means that they need to have good roots. So you don't have good roots, then you have to help them plant good roots. When they have some good roots already, you have to understand the sequence here. This is what it takes to make progress. Don't just sit there and hope, Master, where am I? Can you tell me where I'm at? I say, I don't dare tell you. Anyway, I was telling myself. So what it takes, you see, this is what it takes. The Chinese look at it as, this is something foreign. But actually to me, I read this and I see, this is what I need for me to get there. So get this straight. First of all, you need to have good roots. Number two, you have to have a lot of good roots, lots of seeds. Okay? So you don't have 0 seeds, you have to plant seeds. That's a good start. You have seeds already, you need to plant many, many more. Don't stop there and say, I've done enough, haven't I? I helped you enough, didn't I? Okay. And then you have a lot of seeds. Then some of these will begin to mature faster. If you have few seeds here, then it takes a little bit longer. And some of them die. Okay? Because like some of them would start sprouting and Chung Yin Sin will come out and pull it out and say, it's a weed. Chung Yin, he kills every single tree. He just cut down a big tree in the backyard of Master Xin Xin, the nuns' quarters here. It's a big, look like a Bodhi tree, but yeah, he cut it down, I heard. Oh yeah, show the photo later, you see. It's a huge tree. Okay, so you poor Chung Yin, he's safe in K-land. No. I reached all the way to K-land to make him feel guilty. And then, so you need to have a lot of seeds, okay? And a lot of seeds is one thing, but you need to do things to make them mature yourself. Don't expect others to help them mature for you, okay? Don't be so weak. When you have that kind of attitude, help me, you're weak, okay? So you have a lot of seeds. 2, have a lot of seeds. Now you have to do things to help these seeds mature. Add water, add fertilizer, do some weeding, okay, and so forth. So you need to understand what it takes, okay, and then this is when you be able to have it sprout into something, and then you keep on cultivating until you got maturity. You got the fruits. All right? Any questions? No? It's too hot today. We stop a few minutes early for you to cool down and for me to cool down. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice Sunday afternoon. See you at the beach. Yeah.